to Golf in the Cosmos. This is episode 2, where physics meets the fairway and the universe takes a swing at your mind. Today we have my brother Andrew Hammond joining us. How are you?
Hey, doing well. Yeah, excited to get this podcast going. I think lots of good knowledge to share out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be fun. We have some good guests lined up for the next couple of weeks. But how you been? When's the last time you played golf?
Yeah, actually, I've been taking a little break. But last time I played golf was some par 3 golf at night under the lights.
Oh, that's right.
Yep, Newport Beach Golf Course. Solid track, but man,
that's going away, I heard.
Yeah, no, I think within a couple of years there will be a wave pool instead of golf.
Yeah, it's a kind of a controversial subject, right? They, the argument that kind of turned me was like, it's going to either be a Costco or a wave pool. So I was like, the lease was up apparently on the golf course.
Yeah, I mean, I think that place it's had some revival, but for the most part, it is just not a great training
What's
ground.
like the lowest you've gone there? Do you remember?
I think I did 4 under. Yeah, 4 under through 18 holes, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Back 9 though, I think it was where I shot like 3 under on the back.
Have you gone lower at like Baker? I always think of that course and Baker as similar experiences.
Well, David L. Baker is just a hilarious course because the more you try to bomb it to get close to on the par 4s, it's like the harder the game gets. And it's like sometimes easier to birdie from just a 5-iron off the tee.
Interesting. Well, for those that can hit a wedge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I just think the greens are so bad there. My teammates and I in high school would be like, "Oh, you got baked." Because you would miss, you couldn't make a putt. So it was pretty much, end of the line. You just got on the green, but you couldn't make it.
Yeah, my experience of high school golf was we actually did get baked in the parking lot before.
Yeah,
before
I think
the match.
that might be where it came from, but we didn't know that in our generation.
But, I mean, we got baked at Baker, got baked at Meadowlark. It didn't matter where it was, but
no. But the scores you can shoot at Baker are funny, like I said, because you have a great day and you're making the putts or you're getting close and you can shoot a really low score easily. But but the front 9, it's like the par 3s are what will give you a bogey.
Yeah. Well, and I always feel like those executive courses, the par 3s is where I'm gaining like experience for real courses.
Oh yeah.
The par 4s are obviously kind of throw them away.
Yeah.
But the par 3s, it's like if you can hit, you got to hit that shot.
Well, I just think what an executive course is good for is your short game and your par 3 accuracy, like you're saying. Like the par 3s, some are wedges, but like that will give you a good practice for what actually occurs on an actual golf course.
Right. And then you did not win a skin, right, at the Newport?
No, I won 2 skins.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So yeah,
sorry, I'm just looking for my water. There it is.
My what I realized after that 9-hole round, I think there were 8 of us playing, and it was like to win a skin, you have to birdie, obviously. But what I found is that to make the birdie, the putt was the only thing that mattered because plenty of people got it on the green, close to the hole, but only the guy who made the actual birdie putt took the skin away, which is obvious, but really just shows like that putting was.
So those skins were 8 guys. You won 2 skins with birdies.
Yep. And
you're not stroking. So you're what? You're a +2, right?
Yeah, +2. Yep.
So you're definitely not stroking at that course.
No, I lost for 2 of the holes. I lost strokes.
You lost strokes.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I had to
imagine that.
Oh. I basically couldn't win a skin on those, but there were a few holes out there that I happened to birdie.
That you could just play straight.
Right, that I played straight with people, or the people that got a stroke on them bogeyed.
Right.
So it worked out.
Yeah. Well, because I think that match there was a 15 handicapper. There was probably an 18er.
Yeah. No, it was between 3 and 15.
Right. And then a +2.
Right.
Right.
Now, I think handicap is great.
Oh, it's
because
the
it
best.
allows the 8 of us to play with each other. And sometimes I'm like, guys, can we play it straight? And they just let the handicap rule, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you know, I fluctuate between an 8 and a 12. Just, basically in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, 8 is the lowest I've ever been, I think.
Nice.
So I'm playing, DC doesn't feel that way, but
Right.
but the handicap doesn't lie, right? I mean, it's like a they for med schools they have like the match, they call it, and it's like an equation, and I think it won like the Nobel Prize, or it won some sort of
Wow.
prize because it figured out a way to match 500 people into their top choices. But I feel like the handicap equation should win some sort of fucking prize.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
don't know
mean?
how they do it. I would say it's when you go to a really easy course versus a on paper really hard course. Like they sometimes give you more help on the hard courses, even though like golf is golf. Like
Right.
you still have to make a putt. Yeah, the nicer course often has better greens, so you might make more putts. And so it just to me, it's like, okay, if you play a bunch of hard courses, your handicap is going to be a lot lower than someone who plays a lot of shitty courses.
Wow. I think I know people that would think the opposite.
Yeah.
That they'd say by playing a course that they call easy, that people start to lower their handicap.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, the equation factors that in, right?
It does.
The yardage,
Yep.
essentially, which is the rating. Right.
I think what might happen is there's like a cross of the curves where as your handicap gets lower towards where mine is at +2, like it flips to where
I
the
see.
easier course is actually harder.
They're asking you to go 6 under
Yeah.
at Baker to hold your handicap. Interesting.
Yeah.
Makes
But in
sense.
reality, it's like shooting 6 under anywhere at a putt course is hard. Like it doesn't make a difference once you're trying to get low.
Is like boom? Is it still called Boomers or Palace Park or whatever?
Yeah, Boomers doesn't
Is that
exist, but-
on does that have a rating?
Dude, that would be great. I think they
I mean, it's
No.
18 holes, for God's sakes.
no, they do not consider that USGA.
But if Baker has one,
yeah,
no,
I guess executives are
a step above putt
Yeah.
putt.
that's why
Yeah.
Mesa Linda.
Well, have you seen like I think in Florida, Tiger opened Pop Stroke. Maybe
Yep.
there's one in Arizona too.
Yep.
I think one opened in Florida as well. That's like kind of a you could almost put a rating on that.
Yeah. It's like a
I know
par
you're not
3
hitting
course.
a driver, but
Right. I think it's a par 3 course, and there should be.
no,
a
it's not
rating
even a
on it.
par 3.
Oh,
it's
like chip and putt.
It's a chip and putt,
Okay.
as far as I understand, but it's
No.
like nice. But there's holes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like if you play that, can you get to a +2 handicap? I gained my handicap at Pop Stroke.
Right. Right. Well, let's see. Let's take a look.
Yeah. See, I mean, I know there's not. I guarantee you, there's not a rating there. But so the rating.
No.
So slope.
Mini golf.
Yeah. So rating is, rating, I believe, is what. Can you look this one up too? The exact rating is what a scratch golfer, I believe, should shoot at the course if they're playing to their handicap. And remember, playing to your handicap is only 20% of the time. Like that's kind of the definition of playing to your handicap. 20% of the time for that player, based on their handicap, they would shoot that number 20% of the time. So if I'm an 8, I'll shoot 8 over on a course that's rated 72 or whatever.
Correct. Yep.
But then you have slope. Slope is what a bogey golfer would shoot, I believe.
Correct.
So let me,
Yeah.
do you have that up?
Yeah, so for course rating, it's the expected score for a scratch golfer or 0 handicap. So just like what you said,
0 handicap.
yeah, 0
which is scratch, right?
And
Okay.
so it's like if it's a 74.5 rating, a scratch golfer would shoot 74.5 on average
Mhm.
for 20% of their rounds or something like that. But
Yeah, that's what I wonder. Does that factor in that 20% thing? I don't think it would.
Probably not.
Because that's after the handicap gets applied.
yeah,
Then that's when you can
the
make that.
handicap is on 20% of your golf rounds.
Right.
Okay, so the slope rating is the relative difficulty of the course for a bogey golfer
Yes.
compared to a scratch golfer.
See, that's what always interests me is slope, because, well, at least for me, I'm more of like a bogey golfer. and you'll see like a 140 slope, and you'll see like there's all these lakes to clear
Right.
or something. It's like things that you could do pretty simply.
Right.
And I'm like, and me and like my buddy, a couple of my buddies were like, oh God, like,
Yeah, that's too far.
and we need to draw it.
Right.
It's like, and there's a lake, like, and you need to carry,
Yeah.
240.
Yeah, it's like
you know.
the biggest difference between the scratch and 10 handicap player is pretty much the consistency of performance. Like a 10, I think on the grin it's called the differential or something, where like it tells you how far up or down could you possibly go, or do you tend to go. And so I guarantee you, if we looked at a 10 handicap, the differential is much bigger than a 0 handicap, because it's basically saying the consistency of a 0 has to be there to maintain that handicap. But the 10 handicap, there doesn't need to be as much consistency to be a 10, which is why more people are there.
Right. I mean, I feel like more like it comes down to my putting, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's probably true from a consistency standpoint. I mean, there is some, thinking back to, I played Tustin Ranch yesterday, and there's like a short par 4, and I'm going to hit 4-iron, and I just kind of pull it left behind a palm tree.
Mm-hmm.
That next shot hits the palm tree and goes into the cosmos. Like, the guy's trying to help me find it, because you just hear it hit the palm tree, and I saw it, and I was like, I can go to the right of that. Boom, goes right at it. And then it's like, and I'm playing an orange golf ball. It's like, where is it? I mean, I'm doing like a full, mind sweep of the whole course, and I just can't find it at all. So I go back to the original spot. I need to, and I drop a white ball, and I kind of punch it through, leads to an 8, and I was on a good round. So it's like, but thinking back, maybe why did I hit 4-iron thinking that I could do that? I know you can do that, but if I just went 5 wood and maybe just had that little slice, it probably would have been in an open spot. Like, I could have gone 230, 240 with a different club that was more consistent.
Yeah, this is on a par 5.
No, it's a short par 4.
Oh, off the tee. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So you're trying to pinch something in there.
It's such a short par 4. It's that one that doglegs left. It's like a heavy dogleg left.
Yep.
I know exactly. There's a par 3 after it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you kind of want to be. I think for me, it's hard to see when you see a dogleg. You so often want to cut corners, but sometimes it's so much better to be further away. I feel like doglegs take that that idea of, if it's a straight hole, sure, be a wedge away. Yeah. But if it's a dogleg, can you be a wedge away? Or like, how perfect of a shot do you have to hit?
Yeah, my belief on doglegs is, if it fits your shot shape and you have the club that, with the shot shape fits along that thing, if you drew that arc, it kind of rolls down the other fairway, go for it. But like a great hole, Mesa Linda number 3, my shot shape, I have to slice it to get it to go around that right angle. It's a very much straight and then right. So I've literally, every time I play that hole now, I go 4 or 5-iron straight. Don't care how far left it goes.
Right.
As long as it doesn't go right in the trees, I'll have 120 or less. And actually, because the green is shaped that way, straight on, it's kind of long, you want to come from that angle. Coming from the right is actually much harder.
And that's something we got into a few years back, was we would study green maps and try to find the long entryway.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it's essentially thinking about being, when you're chipping, short-sighted, but you can be short-sighted from 150.
100%. Yep.
And I don't think people think about that enough, of like, how can you approach the screen to have the bowling alley, instead of being kind of, tucked short-sighted, essentially, even if it's an iron. And also an amateur like me is not going to be able to fly 180 super high and stop it necessarily, unless I'm striking it perfect that day.
Right. The stat that, I can't remember who said it, but it's like, as you get closer to the hole, your left and right variance goes down, but your long and short goes up.
Interesting.
So like the curve goes from this wide, which when you have a 4-iron, it's very wide, but it's pretty much going between your distances on a solid shot. Like it's not going to go much farther or much less far. But as you get closer to the hole, that becomes the problem. Think about how when you're going from an 80% swing, 60% swing, 100% swing, like with one club,
right?
Like that's the difference between 50 yards with like a 56 degree. So as you get closer to the hole, you have to worry much more about long and short, which is why what you said about you can't you don't want to short side yourself.
You need that bowling alley.
You need long and short distance.
To then maybe two putt.
To have a chance at par. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're coming in from the side where it's flat, man, you have to be so perfect with your distance, and it's hard.
And it's a fact probably for it might be 99% of golfers, your odds of two putting are better than your odds of going up and down. Right? Yeah. So if I'm going to miss the green and have to chip, you may not par, even though it sometimes, I swear for amateurs like me, sometimes it feels like I'm chipping so well that I want to chip, because like for whatever reason, it's like a better angle at it or something, but those are just certain days. And then it's like, if I hit the green, I'm like at least recently, so I've been feeling it's like, I'm three putting like on average, like 5 or 6 times around right now, which blows my mind. I mean, it really is like, I don't even, if I'm putting from far away, I'd rather chip.
Right.
I'm about to start chipping off of the green. Like,
Well, I think if it's a sort of that, what's the barrier of getting the distance right on the putts? Or is it line? Like,
no, the distance isn't, some of them fly by and then others miss too far right or left. I mean, we're all over.
Right.
There's no consistent miss here.
Okay.
Because also I'm changing after one mess up. I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to do that. And then I do go the other way, whether I'm going on this axis or this. It's
right. I mean, I'd love to hear how you go through different phases of technique, or like how you make decisions about what you're going to bring to the course that day.
Well, the last pod I talked about, I changed my grip. I put the super stroke, and then, you told me get the 2.0, and the 2.0 it's the diameter, I believe.
Yeah.
It's like inches or centimeters or something of super stroke. And those have gotten pretty popular, right? Mm-hmm. And you told me go for the 2, don't go too big. And then when I'm in the shop, you're holding this thing that's in plastic, and I go to I'm looking at the 3s and 4s. I'm like, oh, this feels sweet, man. This is like a lightsaber
right
in my hand. So I go for the 3. Now I'm kind of regretting it. I 3-putted like 3 holes in a row on 9 holes this morning at Rancho, and it's like, you want to throw the thing in the guy that was funny. I played with a buddy, Carlo Valdez, who's actually going to be on the podcast next week.
Nice.
He's an Olympian bobsledder, super cool guy. But then we played with a rando, Kent, if you're listening, what up? And then he goes, "This is the last day with this putter." Like he was
also having trouble.
Oh, I mean, this guy couldn't make anything. I mean, I at least was, couldn't make when I sometimes made. Sometimes I didn't.
But he picked up his ball.
He consistently. No, I mean, he just consistently 3-putted, and that you would think I was consistently 3-putting, but this guy was more. Right. But he goes, "This is my last. This is the last day with this putter," and he treated it as like, saying goodbye to a girlfriend and getting a new one, And I was like, oh, so it's retiring, huh? Like, so he was, and then it gets me thinking how bad amateurs are at putting. I mean, they're so, most of the average Joes out there are just so bad at putting, I think.
Yeah. I mean, where you really see it is on like an 8-foot putt. You see them hit this thing short. Or you just see like it not even have a chance. And it's hard to put into words like why it didn't have a chance, but I guarantee most of the time it's because they're hitting it too soft and it's not driving into the hole. Then for me, I call it intention. It's like, did that putt have the intention of going in? And often it's very much tied to the mental approach to their putt. And they're thinking either too stagnant and not with the target in mind, or they simply are not even thinking about how hard they're going to need to hit this to get it anywhere near the hole. And if you see it go way by, they were fully disconnected from the target. Like they weren't even thinking about making it.
But so do you sometimes aim for a dot that's in front of the hole that's like not at the hole?
Yeah. So the way I visualize, which I think is visualization is the key to success.
But I need more.
Oh, it's
like,
coming.
Because you could say visualization, but
so
you know.
I look at the back of the cup. So what I do is very consistent pre-shot routine, which is another key. But on my last look at the hole, I look at the back of the cup and I find a blade of grass, a piece of dirt. Not every hole is perfect and painted like the pros, but even those you can find a speck of something to see. And the key is just seeing it and noticing it, being like, okay, that blade of grass is pointed that way. That's the back of the hole that I'm going in. And as I look back to the ball, all I'm really thinking of is that detail on the cup. And it forces me to be building that picture from the cup back to me. And then as I'm hitting the putt, I'm visualizing that back of the hole. And then once I hit it, I mean, that's a whole nother story once the ball's rolling. But that's really
but
what
what
I'm
if it is, if I feel like if I do that, I'll slam it like what if it's kind of downhill or like just slightly downhill?
Well, okay, I would say
how do you get speed if you're always just picking the blade of grass on the back of the cup?
Well, the back of the cup is to support the idea of this ball wants to go in the hole.
Okay.
Like it's that. With the pace, that's done in the pre-shot routine, the reading of the putt. Like it's in my head.
Say it's a swinger, a big right to left. Are you still looking at a grass behind the hole?
Yeah.
Because you're thinking this is where it does need to end.
Yeah. If I want to make it. If it's not really makeable, then yeah, it's a little different because I would say I'm looking somewhere on the apex of that curve. Like, okay, there's a dot on the green.
So thinking back to when, the times that I have putted well, I used to go up to the hole and look at kind of where I want my next putt from and then kind of aim for that spot. Yep. And then what's funny is then sometimes it goes in.
Right.
Like, and so, but then if it doesn't, you're like so happy, and it kind of gets to that, trying to have that recurring positive,
right,
reinforcement. But I think, today looking back, it's like I tried to make every single putt. Yeah. Didn't matter how long or short it was.
Yeah.
And then the worst is like if it's for bogey, you have to make it. And it's like bam, and it's like you're now doubling because it's like,
well, you might even triple at that point.
Well, yeah. So I get if it's
for par.
If it's for par is really where you're going. This is where I can save my round and get my handicap back down.
So when it comes to score, do you think thinking about the score is valuable at all while you're playing? Because I think we all do it, especially as the round comes to an end and maybe you're playing against buddies.
Well,
you're like, how do I get my score there? And you either are competitive and turn it on and try to make stuff, or you quit. Like there's two options.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think what you're saying is that the pre-shot routine and the strategy shouldn't change if it's for an 8 or a 4 or a 2,
Or and the only thing that changes is in my head is whether it's a green, yellow, or a red light. And with putting, there's the same situation as from the approach. Like you can add that value to the thing before you approach it. You go, or as you're kind of looking at it, you go, is this green? And it goes, oh yeah, it's green. Now you go be aggressive. And what green means is different to different people based on
the
their
green
strengths.
Light you're talking about.
Yeah, the green light.
Yeah. I just feel like if I have a green light, then it flies by.
That's fine. But the reason it's a green light is because past the hole is flat. Because guess what? You can make a 6-footer. Like you can if it's relatively flat or predictable in its read.
Right.
But what you can't do is make a 6-footer when you missed low, or let's say you missed high on a big breaking putt, and now you have another breaking putt coming back that might break 3 to 5 inches.
Right.
Like that's a yellow light or red, in my opinion.
I just feel like I need to start doing reverse psychology. Like my putting's so fucked that I need to reverse psychology so much to go, you don't birdie, Kevin. Right. You don't get birdies. Like when you're walking up to a great birdie putt and it's like, you don't get birdies, you get tap in pars, and let it just die at the hole, and then maybe it just goes in. Right. Instead of flying it by, because these 3, how do you stop the 3 putts? I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's like you have to warm into birdie putts, and this doesn't happen in one round. It happens over several rounds. you consistently hold yourself back, like restrain yourself, and you go, I know I'm only
Right. That's,
8
I think,
feet
what I'm
away
getting
for
at
birdie.
is the restraint.
Yeah, I love that, because if you can, when you have that 8-foot birdie putt, you think you're going to make it and you hit it by, the difference of that versus putting it 3 inches by the hole because you wanted to die it in, tap that in for par, move on to the next hole. And over the next few rounds of that attitude, the confidence grows and you start adding a little bit to that.
So, like, how many, say you have, let's say it's like an amazing, or in your case or something, or it's an amazing day for me. Say I have like 7 birdie putts or 8. How many, really zooming out, how many like should be left short? Like, in order to create a, conducive, like headspace.
Yeah, I think,
because of course everyone should die and just barely go past it, in a perfect world. But we don't. This is not a perfect world, right?
Yeah, I mean, the
reality is what I'm talking about.
I think it should. The dumb answer is it should look like it's going in, but I don't think that's fair, because like you can't really tell me how that's going to look until I'm rolling the ball.
So maybe I should say how many, not how many should be short, but how many end up being short, where you end your round and you go, I putted great.
Probably 15%, 15 to 20% of putts are dying short of the hole.
Okay, so 15%. So I mean, that's how many of that is,
Okay, so out of 10, that's like
1.5.
Like 2 of the putts are going to be short, and we're talking makeable birdie putts under 20 feet.
Okay, and then how many should go an equidistant amount of distance past? At what point are you?
Well, that's a question of how
losing
many
value
putts
by going so far past. And I'm saying maybe you're making the ones coming back, but you're getting lucky. I mean, like, where can we find consistency in? Like, should you ever leave? I mean, I guess what you're saying is you it's okay to leave a putt short, but you really shouldn't. But what if it's a red light? I mean, I guess there's more factors.
That's what it comes down to, is like, where are you leaving the ball? Are you consistently being so aggressive on approach shots that you're above the hole 50% of the time? It's like, no, you shouldn't be doing that.
I guess that's a good point to talk about, is 3 putts are often from the approach being not below the hole.
Correct. 100%. You can always zoom back until you get to the tee box. And then once you get past the tee box, it's in your head. It's like, oh, guess what? You were having an attitude that you didn't reset from. Like, that's why you chose that club off the tee, or that's why you made the mistake from the fairway. Like, it does. I do think the final destination is that putt. Like, how do you make more putts? But then, as you're missing more and more putts, like, it's usually not the putter's problem. It's because you approached it probably incorrectly.
The approach, right? Yeah. I feel like, I mean, we're not playing Bethpage Black every weekend, so it's not like these tee shots are that difficult. Like, a lot of us can get to the fairway and have a 7-iron or less in our hand. I mean, 70% of the time, just because these courses aren't that pressing, right? I mean, me and you have played Bethpage Black. It's like you can't even be in the rough.
No, you can't make a single mistake off the tee. You have to bomb your drive. You have to then have a 6-iron or maybe 4-iron.
But I don't even know if any of us parred from rough once.
Probably not, yeah.
Because it was so thick that I had to go 7-iron, even if I was 250 out, 220 out, 190 out.
Right.
I had to go 7-iron, hack it out of that rough.
Yeah, you couldn't go less than 7-iron out of the rough there.
And we paid for a caddy.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the whole thing. We got the caddy, and it's not like, if you hit the rough, there's nothing that guy can tell you. Like, what's he gonna say?
He's gonna hand you your 7-iron.
Right. He's gonna. But the funny thing is, it takes 7 holes to figure out that you're supposed to hit 7-iron, because you keep trying. You go, no, I do this at home. I can go 190. Give me the 5-iron, and you just can't get it out of that rough.
No, because the way the club's designed and the blades of grass get in the way, it doesn't cut.
Yeah,
you have to have something that's flat enough to cut through the blades, because if it's too tall, it like pushes the blades.
So I know a golfer that has beat me a lot consistently in the past when he really played a lot. Then his clubs got stolen out of the back of his car, and that it kind of ruined his games. It ruined the what he was on. But he would be short of every single hole, like no GIRs, and he would beat me because most holes have a funnel zone in the front. I would say 90%, maybe 95% of the holes designed and on Earth have like a funnel zone in the front, and maybe that's just like for like certain reasons of like that's how the grass grows.
Yeah.
But it seems like if you're short, most of the time you're below the hole, and then he just got really good at that little chip up.
Yeah.
And would take care of business from there. But it seems like on the right, left, and back, when we're all getting the wrong yardage, playing the wrong yardage or something.
Well, my theory is that imagine you're a course designer, an architect, right? And you have this sheet of paper that's a rectangle. It's tall. And you're drawing your hole, right? And you draw your fairway, you draw your bunkers, draw your trees, maybe some hills here and there. Then you get to the green, you go, okay, I'm at the end of this paper, right? Like I'm at the end of the paper. I'm drawing the green, and guess what? I have to draw it big so we understand the undulation. And guess what? There's no room on the left and right or the back of the paper to design anything. And this is I'm just thinking for like a basic golf course. You're drawing this and the paper literally ends. So can you imagine someone hitting a ball outside the paper? What's going to happen there? Nothing that was thought of. But guess what? Short of the green was thought of. They drew the fairway connecting to the green.
You mean because it's kind of part of the face that he's drawing?
Yeah.
It's
he drew
inside. Yeah.
He has to draw, or he or she has to draw up to the green. And so they designed that beginning of the green, but they don't really design past it for most courses, or to the left very much or to the right very much.
Right.
So because they don't draw anything there, you shouldn't really put a ball there unless the pin, specific circumstances.
That's a good point. That's kind of why. Well, and that's why like some certain holes you could putt the ball to the hole.
From the fairway.
Sometimes I shoot a score on a hole and I go, I could have hit putter the whole time. It's like roll the damn thing, because when you start getting air and spin,
well, spin, people think it's backspin, but it's like the reason the ball curves is because there's side spin. And once you start curving the ball, you start going left and right, and it's like. And
that's what the pros have. The TrackMan stuff tracks that, right?
Yeah.
On a shot.
Yeah, you can see the side spin and stuff.
So then they're kind of knowing like this thing's goners, or this is gonna be kind of where I aimed.
Yeah, they can feel it as well, which is just what happens when you hit a bunch of balls. But when they're practicing, especially their wedge game, they're getting spin rates and really understanding when they hit this club off this lie, they can see what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah, my buddy just got like the poor man's TrackMan, like the Rapsodo in his garage. Yeah. He set it up. He actually wants us to record at his sim for an episode. I'm like, well, we can try that. I don't know how good the lighting is in the garage, but I don't know, I don't think it gets the same stats as as a TrackMan.
No, there's a reason those are 6,000 or whatever they are. Like
10,000. There's
like cameras and sensors in there that cost $100 each. Like
Well, on episode 1, I talked a little bit about like I for some reason my algorithm was giving me like these guys that were like, follow my journey. I'm gonna go to scratch, and they actually just kind of picked up a golf club that day, and they're like filming themselves, and they're spending probably tons of money.
That's hilarious.
And their wife is like supporting them or whatever. Like my wife doesn't even support me doing this. And this is just like 1 hour a week, but we'll see. But they're like actually going all the time. And guys like that, I feel like would buy a TrackMan.
Right.
I mean, they're going all in on, I want to get to scratch, follow my journey. And is the TrackMan going to bring them to scratch?
Not at all. No, God, no.
Just because you have side spin and what RPMs it is?
No, this game is probably the one of the deeper rabbit holes you can get into.
That's well said.
I would say every sport gets to that point. But it was funny. I was watching the post game of the World Series win, and the head coach or the manager of the Dodgers was like, "This is the best game ever," and I'm like, man, everybody says that about the sport they love, which
yeah.
makes sense. But like
Yeah.
the way he said it was the same way someone says it about golf. Like, this is the most genius thing ever.
I just don't know if I have seen YouTube videos or channels that get a lot of views.
Yeah.
They're obviously like making money off ads.
Yeah.
To a degree, about I'm gonna play baseball.
No.
Watch me become an MLB player, and I'm gonna start today.
It's because the
and they're
solo
just getting,
sport.
Like in the batting cage or something. Like,
You're so right. That would be hilarious. I mean, I purely believe that's because golf you can play alone. Like, because you can go out there alone, follow the rules. Like, the rules are your guide in this game.
Yeah.
And because one person can go play a course with not a single person watching and follow the rules and then get good enough to maybe go win a tournament,
right,
is the only reason it's popular like that.
That's a good point. So rules, I think that's a fun one to talk about, because like I agree, and I'm almost so, like, I don't know what's the word, like anal retentive about the rules.
Yeah.
that when I'm playing by myself with randos, sometimes it throws them off. Because I'm like, hey, man, like, especially if there's no one behind us. Like, if I'm playing in Virginia and it's April and there's, like, ice on the ground and so there's no one behind us, and it's like I'm putting on the cart gloves, taking them off. And then the guy's like, I'm like, hey, man, I can't find my ball. And I don't even say that. He just sees me turn my cart around and go back to the second shot of the par 5 to go redrop my 3-wood shot. And he's, like, so confused, like, what the hell is this guy doing? And I'm like, well, dude, it's hole 12, and I'll go home if I just, yeah. And then there's this random guy telling me, hey, man, you can't find it. It's cool, man. Just drop one. I go, right. Is it cool? Are you God? Are you the golf USGA God? Because I just met you today, and you're gonna tell me it's okay to just drop a ball. I'm like, dude, I will not be able to sleep tonight, and this whole day will be wasted. I'll be pissed off at Buffalo Wild Wings later. I'm going to fucking be pissed that I can't sign my card.
Right.
I
think that's the greatest way you put it. You go, you ask yourself, can I sign my card after this event?
I mean, and it's also after you do it, right? You go back and it's crazy because your heart rate starts going up and you have to, like, control it, but your adrenaline starts going because you're going. And that even happens to me when I'm looking for a ball and then I find it, and then you like, if I had an Apple Watch on, I'd be like, it just starts dropping once you find the ball.
Right.
But really, it's like, okay, all it is a stroke. It's an added stroke. It's like you went in the water.
Yeah.
Just go back, drop the ball.
It's some time.
The people behind you will get over it.
Yep.
They'll live. They're gonna wake up tomorrow and sign. Hopefully they can sign their card. But I know that I could sign mine.
Right, and the way pace of play...
Is it that big of a deal?
The way pace of play works is that it has nothing to do with an individual event. It has to do with a group of hundreds of people in a row, little events adding up to something.
It probably has to do with courses sending out groups too quick.
Of course. But I think it depends how many people are on the course at once.
Right.
Because, the quickness of it obviously adds people, but...
But I mean, if say there's a ton of people on a course and you have 20 to 25 to 30 guys that doing what I'm doing,
right?
There's an argument there.
Oh yeah, it would slow it down.
That it would slow it down. And don't get me wrong, there's been situations where it's like there's no way I can, you crossed like 2 bridges and like there's no way you can go back, and it's like that's when you kind of need to drop a provisional or something and just
100 provisionals are the secret.
But the problem is provisionals per USGA. I don't think you can just drop one in. You can do it off the tee. A provisional is off the tee, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. There's no such thing as a provisional on the fairway.
Well, no, it all depends if
once you hit that shot, it is your next. It's your drop, right?
Provisionals can be played at any point when the ball might be lost.
Okay.
And one rule that I used to
even from the fairway?
Yeah, anywhere. It's if you're in the fairway, hit it OB. You think you hit it OB.
But the key is it's OB.
Well, this is something that is contentious because I'm sure we could look up the rule, but I've been told several times by random people that even if it's going in a hazard and you think it might be or might not, you can still hit a provisional. My belief has always
That's not
been,
true. That's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look it up real quick because my belief was always
just check taking provisional from what's the word, they renamed it in 2019, the
penalty area.
No, it's from the in play, like when the ball's in.
Yeah, okay, so this is what I thought. You cannot take a provisional ball if you believe your ball might be in a penalty area.
Perfect. That's what I thought.
And that's what I believe. And then you hear these people go like, no, I can hit it because it'll save us time. I'm like, that's the only reason I'm letting you fucking do this, but not in reality.
Right.
Like, you're wrong.
Right. Well, I think a lot of this probably comes from that I used to caddy for you. So I got to witness like the tour, and these were tour events, right? That you're playing in. And so I had to, the good and the bad, right? I mean, I don't know if you want to tell I don't know if you if it pains you too much, but to tell the Mackenzie Tour 3-minute story.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this one was funny. This par 5.
But this was the qualifier for the Canadian Tour.
Yeah, I think it was a part of the 4-day.
Yes.
Yeah. This 4-day tournament where it's just grueling and very difficult. But this par 5, was it day 1? I can't remember.
It was either 1 or 2.
Day 1 or 2.
Saboba Springs.
Maybe it was day 1.
Which is a great track. If you guys ever want to play golf and gamble a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Saboba.
Great.
And the course will test you for sure.
Great freaking golf course. Well designed. But okay, so this par 5, I think hole 6. It's like a tight hole, so you can go driver and maybe get past this kind of bunker area, and it was playing downwind. Wind was pretty strong, so I bomb a drive, and I swear it was very solid just down the right side.
It may have hit a tree, maybe not. We didn't.
Couldn't tell from where we were teeing off.
You bombed it.
And so we're looking, and there's an official there who's, what I've learned about officials is that they are not your friend at all. They literally, you should ignore them anytime they drive by you. Never give them a little wave. Like,
well, don't let them know like what you're doing.
Yeah. They're just.
We learned.
They know the rules, and that's it. But we're looking for the ball, and it couldn't find it. Kept looking. We had probably 5 people looking for it, and
it came to his attention that that's what we were doing.
Right, and so he starts his clock.
Essentially.
Right? And I think it's just in his head, or maybe he glanced at a clock or something, but literally goes, all right, your time's up. And we're like...
And it's like, did he start that while we were walking? And does he count that as we were looking? And also when you are walking, you kind of are looking, but like, there's really no like official... This isn't like MLB where the clock's behind...
there's no official clock, and that's how it is even when there's no official around. It's like... Somebody checks their phone, and in 3 minutes, if you don't find the ball, you have to go retee.
And it's kind of all arguable to a degree, but then if an official is there, you're kind of screwed when he decides to say it.
Right. Because like
fucked.
With the group, it's like, let's just be respectful, like until we can't find it. But like, there's no OB. It was just sitting somewhere we couldn't see.
Well, no, what ended up happening was it was actually another 20 yards in front of where we were looking.
It was deeper than
the
we
wind
thought.
took it. So you actually had like a full-on eagle chance.
Yeah, it was in a great spot, and we just couldn't see it because it was in the rough.
Yeah. And because the official was there, the 3 minutes happened, and that was hard to swallow. I mean, that I don't even think I caddied the next day.
Yeah.
And that partially was due to that situation, because you kind of can blame me by not watching it well enough and going, no, it's further.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's just... That's golf, but I think that's why we try to play USGA rules when we're playing recreationally, because it just preps you for crap like that, which actually happens. And people,
it did happen.
What happens to so many people? We play this USAM tour, and you find so many people who don't play by the rules, who you can tell never play by the rules.
Oh yeah.
And so when they get to the tournament, they're like, "How do I do this?" I'm like, "Have you ever taken a drop before?"
So the most interesting part about golf rules to me is using the rules to your advantage is not cheating.
Right.
So I had a guy in USAM Tour, he accidentally hit it while doing a practice swing. And he's like, hey man, I accidentally hit it during a practice swing, and I'm going to actually play it from where it ended up in a great spot. And I go, well, now you just kind of screwed yourself, because if you hit it on if it was a practice swing, you have to replace it
and take a stroke.
So he's putting it back in a bush, and then that tour has a rule where you can play 2 balls out,
Right.
and then go ask about the rule later. And it's like, I knew this rule for sure. I'm like, if it was a practice swing, you put it back to where it was and you take a stroke.
Yeah.
And that's one where I didn't know it was a practice swing. It's like he really could have said, okay, I meant to hit that. And maybe he did.
Okay.
It's like,
yeah,
was it a practice swing? I mean,
if the ball moved, you can say it's not a practice swing.
Like, that's their one moment of the game where you can go, hey man, yeah, I just hit a bad shot, but I like where it is,
Right.
It ended up being in a spot where I kind of am not more screwed, but now he takes a 1-stroke penalty, puts it back in the bush, starts racking up more strokes. And he's arguing, but it was a practice swing. I shouldn't have to do that. I'm like, dude, that's what's screwing you, is that you're saying that it was a practice swing. So like, the information you're giving me, I'm just trying to help you, but
because
I'm just trying to give you the ruling.
You have to replace it. So it's like he could have just walked to his other ball and be like, that was my shot, and then moved on.
I wouldn't have known.
No, nobody would have cared either.
There's a self-policing aspect. And that's kind of where the game, you can use the rules. When I say use the rules to your advantage, it's not cheating. It's going, well, it'd be better if this was why that happened. So I'm going to, that's my answer to what,
Now, if he hit it twice or did something extra, then that.
Well, no, I mean, that's totally different. But it's literally like, if it really ended up in a better spot, he could have said it wasn't a practice swing. Right. And I mean, who's going to really push you on that?
Yep.
Honestly. So.
Yeah, I mean, rules are funny. You got to follow them, or else you can't send the card.
Yeah. Hey, man, cheers, man. Thanks for being on episode 2. And
cheers.
Yeah.
Running out of daylight.
Yeah, it's a nice day out there. I know they're gonna see the light. I know we almost need to change the exposure on it.
Yeah.
But no, it's all good. So I have this handicap bet going that I lower my handicap. I think it's to anywhere between a 5 and a 6 by May, like during the month of May next year. And it's like a $500 bet. Like, so it's
okay.
And the argument, because I've been going through some mental stuff of like where I've been really thinking well, like, this whole, they call me like Cosmos Hammond, I mean, sometimes I'm out there just in the cosmos completely and just firing, I think it's just about getting the putter to work now, but the shot, I mean, it's really, so, well, can you lower, what's the most you've seen kind of a handicap? I've been playing since I was 13.
Actually change?
Yeah, and I'm 36 now. So like, is that a crazy idea? I mean, I know I know you're going to say I need to practice more.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe putting. And then also, what are your thoughts on like swing aids or like putting aids?
Right.
I know it's a big business.
Yeah. I think.
Is it a scam or not?
Well, it's an initially positive thing that you can use to it's all about getting your mind to think differently than how it is now. And by mind, I mean your mind-body connection. Because if you're trying to apply the same thing and same strategies you're using now, you simply won't lower that handicap. But if you accept that, hey, I need to make a step change in how I approach one part of the game or multiple parts, whether that's by technique or preparation or, how you behave around certain events. If you accept that you will need to make a big change in one of those areas, you will lower the handicap. But if you expect that if I just keep digging at the same mine, you literally won't get more than a couple strokes.
Yeah. No, I mean, it'll be interesting as this podcast goes on, because we'll get closer and closer to May, and people can kind of track. I'm at an 8.5 right now, but that bet converts if I can get between 5 and 6 by May.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like where it's at. The amount of 3 putts I'm getting, I feel like that means I'm doing everything else right. because I'm still shooting like not
But
that
what you'll
high of a
find is
score.
that as you start putting better, the other parts of the game will
Well, that's
become more apparent where the mistakes are. Because
Yeah.
right now the scores are going up because of putting, but the second you remove that, the scores will be going up because of something else. Because this game is constantly going lower.
right.
I experience the same thing where
Yeah.
sometimes it's one part of the game, sometimes it's other parts.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's all of them. This game's about peaking at the right time. So.
Yeah. Let's get into like cross training a little bit. I know you do what you've been doing Pilates a lot.
Yoga
recently.
and Pilates, yeah. It's
How many times a week do you think?
I think 2 times in Pilates and 1 time yoga. Would love to do 2 of each a week.
And that's like a lot of core strength, right?
Pure yoga is incredibly good for your flexibleness, whatever.
Flexibility.
Yeah, flexibility, sorry. But the Pilates, what I found is that it's incredible for your core, and you don't necessarily need to balance. So it's not like this balancing sense of core and centering, but it's much more just pure muscle mass in the main engine of your body.
Got it.
And also your legs. It's really good for that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on like other sport like surfing or something? I know you go back and forth on.
Yeah, I surf and skateboard, and they both, the fact that you're moving, like golf is so stationary that you never experience that motion balance, which is sometimes automatic, like riding a bike, right? You don't think about balancing when you're riding a bike, but if you're standing in a yoga pose on one foot, you're thinking about balancing. So like there's that stationary balancing, but then there's the motion balancing.
Yeah.
And I think you do need both. And so I love surfing and skateboarding for that sense of grounding and control with your feet.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But I mean, the cross training, it's essential to be doing something while golfing, but the best way to get good at golf is just playing a shit ton of golf. Like that's the worst part about it, I'd say, is that it's just putting in the hours of golf.
No, but I know, I mean, we did that tournament up in Bend, Oregon. You know, it was 4 days, basically 5 days in a row, counting practice rounds. And I feel like you guys did really good, but I kind of got on a bad swing habit / maybe swing thoughts.
Right.
And it's almost like I needed to not play a day, because it's like you throw me back out there and I'm like lost in the sea of my head and / not like really using the right parts of my body, like doing kind of a sway, and like what I've kind of changed now is like it's more of like a step on it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of stepping on that front foot and letting it take the load, where I was kind of swaying left and right before, and that is such a crap shot.
Yeah.
You know, it'll never go straight. You know, if you're really swaying your knees like that. I wasn't stable. My balance was bad, and I could have played. That was like a bad rut. Where if I played 20 days in a row, I don't think it was going to get better.
No, I mean you would have. That's where I'm talking about that change. Like you actually have to accept that something significant has to change, or else you will keep trying the same thing over and over, and it doesn't tend to work. And stepping away from the game does support that, because you can not only reset the body but the mind.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about physics a little more. Like you studied physics, right?
Yeah, in my undergrad. Yeah.
And so like where would you say you're at compared to, like, I don't know, I put like Bryson DeChambeau at like kind of an extreme level, like making all his clubs the same. Like your clubs are different lengths still, right?
Right.
I mean, you're not.
Yeah, no, I do not think that is necessary to utilize physics in the best way. I think the best way to use physics is just to understand how forces interact, and like especially the pendulum. Like there's an equation with the pendulum where it doesn't care about the mass on the pendulum. You could have a pendulum like this and have 1,000-pound weight,
a semi-truck,
semi-truck, or a golf ball, right? And it would have the same period, which is just the time it takes to go from one point back to itself.
Really? Wow.
So it doesn't matter about that, but what it does care about is the length of that thing, which is why Bryson uses the same length for every club, because the pendulum period only cares about the length of the club or the length of the string. And so because he makes them all equal, I would assume except his driver and Woods, but maybe those are the same.
So he can do the same speed?
So it has the same tempo of his swing, and therefore he can add multipliers to that for force to understand how hard he's going to hit the ball.
I see.
So it all makes sense to me. I just don't think that's necessarily that important for creating consistency within your golf swing, because the degrees of error that he has to deal with are so important. If he's off a little bit, guess what? He's not going to hit the ball very well.
Right.
But for a normal golfer, because we're playing more feel, it definitely has more of a opportunity to just feel good or feel bad. And you can just kind of go against that.
Right. That's something I had in my notes too, is tempo.
Yeah.
Like some days I feel like it's so easy to jump on, like where the tempo feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
Other times it's like trying to force into how do I get to that good tempo? I don't know. Do you have any tips for like getting that tempo that's good, you know? Because it's not even auditory. Like I would say like, oh, listen to a metronome or a song.
It's purely practice. It's just muscle memory.
Feel, yeah. It's using the right muscles at the right time.
My question is, why do golfers have swings that look like their swings? And you go, well, that's Jordan Spieth's swing. You could see it, you know, where you've seen the silhouette of golfers. Like you can see who it is just by the way it looks, and not only the positioning, but you could see the tempo and see the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's purely setup and practice over and over until it's repetitive enough to where you don't think about it, like you're breathing. Because tempo is something that, you can put a metronome out there and think about it.
Right.
But, I mean, go ahead and do that, but do it a million times, and then you won't need the metronome ever again.
Right. No, I saw this one reel that was like Ernie Els, and the guy overlays, he goes, Ernie Els. Like, because he's just so smooth. Like, you know, like,
that makes sense.
And I kind of tried it a little bit. I'm like, that's a little too slow, like for me.
Yeah.
I wish, I could load like, I wish I could load like that smoothly.
Yeah. I mean, you can experiment. I love videotaping swings because it can prove to you what you're actually doing. So it just like adds a layer of fact to what you're doing rather than thinking you have some technique that makes sense or does not. Right.
Well, the one thing I brought in was the moon. I was learning a little bit more about the moon, and it's 239,000 roughly miles away. So it's 10 times, if you go, the last episode I talked a little bit about going around the earth. And so it's 10 times going around the earth. That's it. It's not that far, the moon. And it's actually moving a few inches further from us every year.
Wow.
And also, if we didn't have the tides, it controls the tides enough where basically life wouldn't be stable on Earth without the oceans being, tidal.
Right.
Because they would just be nuts. It would just be like you wouldn't be able to really like build a city anywhere because it wouldn't be predictable.
Right.
So the moon kind of controls the ocean stuff. So,
well, I'd love to hear how you think about how that like applies to the ball falling in the hole.
Well, that one's a little, yeah. I mean, that's a good question because when what if I was like, I only play golf during low tide. Because then the ball drops in the hole more. I can miss on the high side. It drops in. We have a 2:00 tee time. Dude, that's high tide. I can't. I'm not gonna be able to make that one, man. Like the tide charts don't add up. There's something. There's something. If the goddamn ocean is coming up 6 feet at 2:00 and then it goes down negative, 2 feet. Especially when there's king tides.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, you're telling me my golf ball's not going to be like, should I be aiming more left or right? There's got to be something to that.
Yeah. I think
the moon is affecting us to the point where it's keeping us basically alive.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah. I think that.
What's up, dog? The dog just bursted in. Hello. This is Honey. What's up, honey?
That's funny.
You can be on the next episode, honey.
Yeah.
But how is it not affecting? I mean, the ball. I mean, I don't. If it's affecting the ocean.
Well, what I do think.
I mean, you're the physics.
Astrology people who are into astrology, they would say it definitely affects your psyche and your body.
I'm not like that. Like what month you were born in and stuff like that. I mean, I get it. The stars are in a certain direction, but that to me is a little more. A little too hippie for me. Like, no offense to people that they understand that, but like I'm trying to get at like physics more. Like when there's high tide, does my putt slightly go, have more pull down? Does my speed change slightly? I mean, that's what I'm getting at.
I would say
mathematically,
the mathematical numbers most likely change at a negligible rate compared to the mass of the ball.
But what is negligible to you? What is negligible?
Right.
It may not be to me.
Yeah. No, I'd love to see.
But and then what that gets at is like the cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, it's like, why?
Maybe if I can blame the tides, then I'll go into the next hole.
Yeah.
In a better state of mind, because, I think with this we've been talking a lot about as if this is all like skill. Right. Based on physical ability, you work out, you do this, but I think what the way I've brought my handicap down to an 8, I haven't been practicing more. I've just been thinking more.
Yeah.
Well,
you've been accepting more of the results that occur, and if that's being done through the acceptance of the cosmos, attributing or contributing to the results that happen, and letting you move on quicker from a bad thing or even a good thing, right, then it's valuable.
Yeah, and I feel like every player, especially maybe tour players, and that's why I'm excited in the future to maybe get, like a tour player on here.
Yeah.
To really pick their brain on like how, what's your way? What do you use as an archetype in your brain to get over something?
Right. It comes down to like this weird faith of answering the why something happened, and the quicker you can answer the why, the better it is, unless that answer is blaming something that is controllable. And by that I mean, like, if you're blaming another person or the grass, something that
what you ate for breakfast,
right, like something that a human did, like they cut the grass weirdly, or you did something, or somebody else talked to you a certain way,
right,
that's where you dig a deeper hole of that cognitive dissonance. But if you can blame something that's above you, which is the cosmos or whatever you want to believe in, that's going to be a end solution, meaning there's nothing else that could have been done.
That's right. Yeah, you can't argue those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you totally can move past an issue or a positive thing by just
closure.
It's a dead end. And that's essentially what like a faith, I would think, is.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's kind of what we're getting at. So I think that's a good concept to kind of leave people with.
Yeah.
So we'll see you all next week. I know it got a little dark here. We'll have to figure out the lighting for the next one, like getting the exposure right and stuff. But thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you, Andrew, for being here, man. It was a pleasure.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Pleasure chatting with you, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. Peace.